So, good morning to all of you. It's a pleasure to welcome you all. This is our 21st edition of this webinar. And as the 21 days habit says, right, if anything is practiced for 21 days or 21 sessions in case of ours continuously, then it almost becomes a habit. So it has now become a Sunday habit for all of you, right? So we have planned for a fireside chat today on the topic that how agility can transform and stay relevant amid AI disruption, and what changes are we expecting. Very interesting topic because today we stand at a unique crossroad. Artificial intelligence is reshaping how teams think, build, collaborate, and deliver value. Traditional agile ways of working, rooted in rapid feedback, customer orientation, and adaptive planning, as we see, are suddenly being tested by autonomous systems, AI-led decisioning, predictive workflows, and machine-augmented creativity. So the key question is, how must agility evolve to stay relevant and truly amplify organizational capability in an AI-driven world? So today we will start, and just for an introduction, I'm Dola Pal with around 22 years of IT experience with Tata Consultancy Services, currently working as a delivery partner in the domains of energy resources and life sciences and healthcare. And today we will have a sneak peek into some interesting topics. Agile operating model will look like in the next 3 to 5 years, how product design is going to be reimagined, what are the roles that are getting evolved or transformed, right? What is the human AI collaboration looking like? What are the cultural shifts that is required for AI ready agility? And how the backlog management will be done in this AI era. So let me take this moment to welcome and introduce our speakers for this session. We have got Shubhabrato Pal with us. Shubho, as you all know, right? So he's a seasoned technology leader and an agile transformation strategist and AI consultant with extensive experience driving digital transformation and enterprise scale innovation. He's known for bridging business vision with practical data-driven execution. He brings deep insights into AI adoption, workforce readiness, and organizational agility. His thought leadership and hands-on expertise make him a compelling voice on how businesses can stay future ready in an era of rapid AI disruption. So welcome, Shubhabrato.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Our moderator for this session is Shubhra Haldar. Shubhra is a agile transformation lead at Lexmark, and she is recognized for enabling organizations to build adaptability, speed, and customer centricity at scale. As a moderator, Shubhra is known for guiding thoughtful dialogue, grounding discussions in real-world experience, and drawing out meaningful, actionable insights for the audience. Welcome, Shubhra. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
joining
Dola.
us. Okay. Some key ground rules, because we know this is a very interesting topic and we'll have a lot of questions. So we'll have the chat side, fireside chat, finish off around 10:50, and then we can take up the questions from the audience. So requesting all of you to please park the questions, and we'll have a 10-15 minutes towards the end for all of the questions, right? The other thing which I would want to emphasize is while there are a lot of insights and a lot of related questions and thoughts that may come up on this interesting topic, we may not be able to complete everything in one session today. So we'll definitely plan for a follow-on session in the coming weeks. Yeah. So let's get started without wasting any further time. Shubhra and Shubhabrato, the stage is all yours. Let's get started.
Yeah, thank you, Dola. Thank you for the wonderful introduction.
So, yeah, without wasting any time, let's get started. As Dola already mentioned, this is a vast topic, and we will try to just put some thoughts, and all the audience here, everybody is welcome to put their questions as well. And if we get time to answer, we will surely answer. But then we are also trying to collect some of them. And as Dola already mentioned, we are planning for a future session, the same topic. So we will be happy to get all your insights and all your questions. So moving to the first question to our speaker, Shubhu. So with AI accelerating work cycles far beyond human bandwidth, the definition of rapid adoption is changing, right? So traditional agile principles built around human iteration speed are being challenged by automation, predictive analytics, and autonomous decision making. Now, this raises a critical question. What does agility look like when machines can adapt faster than teams?
Right.
So, as we all know, that agile was designed for human collaboration and delivery, right? But then AI introduces a new dimension of continuous learning, automated backlog refinement, even these days self healing systems, right? So, how does this shift the core principles? So, Shubho, how do you see AI redefining what agile means in the next 3 to 5 years?
Excellent. So first of all, thank you, Dola, for the overwhelming introduction. And one more thing for the people that she introduced me as a speaker and Shubhra as a moderator, but it's not exactly the same. I mean, it's a little different this time. So it's not only who is, I mean, I'm going to give all the responses, right? So Shubhra will also be giving us, right, some responses as well. Before I give the answer, am I sounding clear? Are you able to hear me, guys, clearly?
Yes, Shubho.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much. So coming back to your question, but before that, again, I would like to take a step back. Where all it started. It started 25 years back when Agile Manifesto was published. And then we have seen, right, a huge roller coaster ride for Agile itself. Now, initially, right, for the first 5 years, there were not much of taker because people were still skeptical about taking agility, right, as a framework or transformation medium. And then their initial inhibition, right? I mean, it was kind of infected into it was becoming infectious in the customer's mind how things are going to change, whether it is really going to solve my problem. Like every disruption has its own right initial challenges, and there was some initial fear factor as well in the team's mind that agility was promising too much of transparency, right? So no status based reporting anymore. It's always real time update based on the working software. So initial fear factor was also there. And then we have seen that in every 5 to 10 years or 5 to 7 years, we have seen that agility also had its own roadblocks. Now, initially, we had seen that agility, initially, it was coming up with too much of promises, but once it started in a full fledged manner, we started seeing a lot of challenges as well. Because agility was mostly recommended for the development team, but not for all the support organizations. So maybe even if the agile teams were ready to give you the incremental outcome in every 15 days or 10 days, we were not seeing right that is getting moved to the market because the release management team, the deployment team, the operations team were not following agile. And then DevOps came as a savior, and that became an integrated model. And no one can deny on that fact that agility augmented with DevOps is becoming or giving us a more quantifiable benefit. Though agile frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, they were never publicly telling that okay, it will be good if we can have DevOps with us, right? But it was an underlying fact. In fact, when I was working in IBM, that time we tried out with an integrated approach of design thinking to begin with, then agility for the execution, finally DevOps. So that was one part. And then what was the next roadblock? So when the new disruption came in on the competitiveness. So now people are not ready to wait for 1 year to complete or 2 years to complete the development with a single team. They wanted the delivery to happen more faster than the competition. So here comes the need of multi-team agility. And not only multi-team agility, so now this time the disruption helped us to really scale it up to the right CXO CIO level. And that's how we are calling it as a organizational agility and the enterprise agility. So the point here is, when Shubhra told me that how are you seeing agility in the next 3 to 5 years, I would like to say agility has been seeing this kind of roller coaster ride for the past 20 years or so. And it has not dead yet. It is not yet gone, done and dusted. Maybe many people thinking, no, agility is not going to do anything, it's dead. But no, Agile will again transform, and we may see a agility 3.0 or 4.0 as you suggest. And already we have seen that there are a lot of frameworks which are coming up with a promise, with a lot of positives, how Agile can be delivered in a much better way, leveraging AI capability. Now let us come to the pointers. Now, if I try to go by point, now it is now becoming, or it will become more hyper automated decision making. Now, before I go deeper into it, you have to understand it is still evolving. It's not a defined framework anymore. I mean, not yet. So like scaling model was initially a thought, and then it took the shape, and now it has become a framework. So now a lot of ideas are kind of floating around. Everyone is thinking about positives, negatives, what can be this, what can be that. So still there are a lot of ideas floating around, but we have not yet come to any conclusive decision how the agility will look like in next 3 to 5 years when AI is going to be kind of stable, though it is not going to be, because it's always a probabilistic thing. It is going to change. It is going to evolve. Today, what is there? Tomorrow, it might be something else. So how Agile can keep up with the pace of this transformation, that is going to be a defining factor. Now, when we talk about hyper-automated decision making, we know that teams are holding daily stand-up call, reviewing backlog, prioritize tasks manually. These are regular tasks, that the way present agility is. But moving forward, you may not, your stand-up maybe for 5 minutes, where you can always see the real-time metrics. Why should you be even asking that question? Because already your AI agent or your AI companion will give you the data based on the update that you are making on the Jira or whatever. And already Jira and other tools are coming up with their AI components. And also the auto prioritization, right, of the backlog, the velocity will be defined. And not only, now I'm sure like you all have seen that cricket matches, right? 1-day cricket matches or T20 cricket matches. Are we analyzing or are we really calculating the current run rate? Earlier we used to do that. But are we really calculating what is the current run rate? What is the asking rate? If you even open the ESPN cricket info, you will always see that every ball bowled and the CRR, NRR changing. Not only that, with every ball bowled, every four scored or every wicket fell, the probability is also changing. So it is now based on real-time metrics. Predictive sprint planning. Now, when we do the sprint planning, there are quite a few things that we need to consider. What is the capacity? What is the estimation? Right? And of course, what is the prioritization? And the capacity is calculated mostly in the historical data, and Scrum Master goes ahead and, right, they do that manually. Now, moving forward, things will be completely automated. They will be all before, whenever let's say you are clicking on start a sprint, immediately you will have the data for the last 5 or 10 sprint. They will give you a trend chart. What has been your historical spillover pattern? What has been your new ad hoc addition, which we do manually today? And accordingly, we take the decision that, okay, this is my capacity. How much can I commit? But this business volatility, the scope volatility, all these things will be calculated beforehand and the result will be in front of you. You just need to fit in the data, accept, or you need to make some customization. And no one can deny on that because this is factual. This is data driven. But yes, still the control will be with the Scrum Master, with the product owner to decide whether I need to change it or I have a better insight to override that. That is predictive sprint planning. Now, next, there is an AI power. Let's come to a little bit of technical part of it. AI powered pair programming and testing. So we know that most of our technical practices are inherited from the extreme programming that we all know. Now, today, what is happening? Developers write the code, testers validate manually, or maybe with the test-driven development. But moving forward, first of all, whether we need to at all write the code. Because there may be a situation that you do not even write the code, you just put the business logic and automatically the code will be accepted. I mean, code will be created, generated for you. Or let's consider the situation that you are writing the code and automatically your AI companion will tell what all use cases you are missing, right? Because you have a direct relationship to the user story using GitHub Copilot, and your Jira will tell or GitHub will tell, okay, these were the kind of acceptance test criteria and what all things are kind of missed out here. So it will really become a real-time coding partner for you. It will guide you. It will not override you, but it will guide you. Now, whether you want to take that suggestion or not, that's your call. Runtime coding standard, runtime syntax validation, all those things are going to come. Even sometimes they will suggest some fixing bug in your code, exception handling and all those stuff. Now, coming to agility at scale. Now, one of the interesting or important factor for the scaling model, whenever we are working with multiple teams, we are expecting a lot of dependencies to happen. Now, before even we go to the PI planning, I'm just taking one example. So your AI companion or AI agent will tell you, because you know by that time that what features are given to what teams. So forget about like they have split that into user story. It can always give you, these could be the probable dependencies. Now let's say Shubhra is a scrum master for one of the team. I am the scrum master for another team. So Shubhra will get a hint, already a suggestion. Okay, you might be expecting this dependency, and Shubho's team and Dola's team will own these dependencies. So the need of the scrum of scrum within the breakout room or during the PI planning will not be required. And sometimes this can also trigger the point suggestion to the product manager so that the product owner can also decide, okay, this is important. I need to keep some capacity for this dependency resolution. So AI will orchestrate the dependencies across multiple teams, predict bottlenecks, and recommend resource allocation as well. Now, finally, there are a lot of points to discuss, but in the interest of time, if I think about agile role evolution, then product owner will become even product curator or strategist. Scrum Master will now start evolving like an AI workflow orchestrator than just running some team event, etc., etc. And the developers will not become a problem solver. I mean, they will rather become a problem solver than just becoming a coder. Now, I would like to switch hat. So I would like to now become a moderator, and I would request Shubhra to give us some insight around human AI collaboration pattern. So Shubhra, as we know, there are few terminologies kind of getting introduced these days called co-creation with AI. Whether it's a code generation, whether it is a design intelligence or analytics or testing. Maybe I have just touched upon just some superficial part of it. So workflows are shifting towards the co-creation with AI. So what are your thoughts? What new collaboration pattern do you foresee between human and AI in Agile team? Would you like to share some point?
Yeah, Shubha, very good point. So, I mean, moving forward, what I see, or rather I foresee is maybe human AI collaboration in Agile team will increasingly look like a shared ownership of repetitive tasks and creative tasks, whereas human can be in the control of the creative part and we can leverage AI for the repetitive tasks. So AI will not just assist, it will actively co-create. So developers and testers will use AI tools like, as you mentioned, like GitHub Copilot to accelerate coding and testing workflows. And humans, on the other hand, will focus on the design content, validation, and maybe edge cases. So, as you said, we can we can get those suggestions from AI, but then we will need a human being present to judge that, okay, these are the suggestions, and whether we can accept it as is it, or we can add, or we can apply our creative thinking and design or add wherever something is missing. So that ways both human and AI will work as co-creators. So now, if I give some example from our IT industry, right now, what happens? Even today, we see this happening, right? With inclusion of AI in all the workflows, we see teams are already using GitHub Copilot to generate unit test cases. I think the first thing for which developers mostly use GitHub Copilot is generating unit test cases, because
Absolutely.
that used to take a lot of time earlier. So if a story is estimated, the development work is estimated for 3 points, then the team used to put 5 points there, because they, in the back of their mind, they knew that they had to write all the unit test cases and integration test cases. But now with GitHub Copilot handy to them, they can just give that responsibility to the GitHub Copilot, right? What GitHub Copilot does, I'm not saying that it always creates a fully 100% perfect unit test case, but it will give you the framework. It will give you the backbone of the test case. You are open to use it as it is, or maybe you can change it as per your code goes. But then the majority of the boring repetitive work of writing the whole framework and everything, that is solved, right? I mean, just like that. So this is one scenario. Then not only for developers, as you said, it is AI is going to accelerate the efficiency of every role. So maybe for testers today, Copilot can suggest multiple test cases, right? Based on, so in my organization, there are teams who use Microsoft Copilot to write the test cases, because writing test cases is also a huge task, a boring but huge task, because we need the test cases present in somewhere, so that later on we can just use them and create a plan and for auditing everything. So you can write your prompts in Microsoft Copilot, and then it will generate all the test cases with all the format that is required. So it relieves you out of that boring task. Again, another case can be like the automation developers. So those are also testers. They write automation code. So they can use GitHub Copilot again to write the framework in Selenium and Playwright. Playwright is the latest one that everybody is using. So reducing the setup time from hours to minutes. And the output that we get, we all know that automation saves a lot of validation time. So we are putting less effort to get a greater efficiency altogether. So instead of writing boilerplate code manually, the team reviews the fine-tunes AI generated scripts. AI will generate you, and you are just you have the humans are having that role of reviewing that, ensuring that those things align with business logic and compliance standards. So this pattern turns AI into a pair programmer and tester, freeing humans to focus on strategy and quality rather than repetitive coding. So this is a huge benefit that AI is giving us, the developers, the testers, and even other roles as well. So as I said, human and AI are going to co-create, where the responsibility of all the boring repetitive tasks AI is going to take care of, and then humans should be focusing more on the creative part, on the design part, on the validation, on the validating edge cases, on checking the compliance, everything. So that is how I foresee AI helping out? I mean, the collaboration pattern between human and AI. I don't know, but maybe you can also share something from your organization, what you see right now.
Right. So I do not want to, because you mostly covered the technical part of it, but I would like to cover the real part of it. I mean, the way we are expecting AI to help the team member, and the kind of improvement in terms of number that we are expecting. In fact, last week I was having a discussion, right, with one of my senior architect, and I was telling that, can you give me a real picture? We know that the leadership is looking for some data, and whether it is meeting out our expectation or not, they will say no, it is meeting, it is improving, etc., etc. But how reality is, if we switch on our reality check button, how reality is the improvement? And he said, Shubho, we are not yet there. It is
Absolutely.
just becoming, trust me, in my organization, we have got, I don't want to tell the actual figure, but we have got a huge amount of GitHub Copilot license. So what was the first leadership target? How can I onboard my maximum team member to get that or start using that GitHub Copilot license? That was the first measure. The later part will come. I mean, whether they are getting benefit, it's not none of our concern at this point in time. Our concern is whether they are using it, because we need to show this number to the people. And I'm becoming very right. I'm not trying to become diplomatic here. This is fact. The second is, some people are just saying to their manager, oh, we are seeing 20% improvement, 30% improvement. Where are you seeing? If you are able to showcase that, yes, you are able to show us 30% improvement, then you should have pulled more stories and give us more outcome. That is not happening.
Right.
Right? If you are saying that your code will be more compliant in nature, then your number of reported defects will go down significantly. That is not coming. So how can we show the improvement? So maybe in the next session, where we are going to discuss about the metrics and the productivity, Shubhra, I would like to touch upon some real challenges right out there. Hope that gives you some insight.
Absolutely. I mean, that is really a challenge. But then, as you already said, that it is still evolving, right?
Still evolving.
I mean, it will take some time to stabilize. Because what I can share from my organization is that this co-pilot was introduced, there were certain everybody was not they although everybody opted for the license, but then they were not using it. But then slowly people started using it. And one thing that becomes a roadblock sometimes is a mindset.
Correct.
Because when we try to use that, what happens is, we first try it and we find that it is writing a bogus code. And then we stop using it, right? But then we need to realize that it is nothing but a robot, like.
Correct.
So how we train, that way it is going to work. So if we stop training that, then it will stop working.
Correct.
So if we never train that, and if I just wait that, okay, it will improve, it will not improve on its own. So it is also some way our responsibility to use it and train it. So when I'm using GitHub Copilot, it is giving me a bogus code. I will tell them, you are giving me a bogus code and this should be something like this.
Correct.
Then it learns out of that.
Right.
So this learning process needs to happen to make it more efficient. But from my organization, we are also measuring the efficiency that AI involvement is doing. But then there is efficiency, and we are able to display that mainly from the test organization. I would say that they are really able to showcase how it is improving their capability to include automation in the legacy code. So it is a huge manual task and it will take a lot of time. We don't have so much resources. But then using AI, how they can, reduce that effort and actually get the product to that level of automation.
Right.
So it is helping, but then it will again take some time to stabilize, where just by using it, we can do everything. We
Correct.
are not there yet.
Right.
Nowhere near to it.
So with your permission, just to add to your last point, and we all know that AI can really do, right, wonder whenever there is a mundane, repetitive kind of tasks coming up, operations kind of task. And that is, we have seen that in the RPA, we have seen that in the intelligent automation, right, etc., etc. But the real testimony will come when agility, when this AI is going to be helpful for everyone, all the developers, right? Then the real, like as you rightly said, like these are all repetitive kind of test generation, etc., etc. They are impeccable there, no doubt about
Yes.
it.
Yes.
But when it comes to the uniqueness, the ingenuity, I mean, your ingenious things will come into picture, then the real testimony will show up. And we are yet to see that. I hope like we are optimistic.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in the interest of time, let's move to the next topic. So we have just explored how AI is reshaping the very definition of agility, right? Moving from human-based iteration to machine-accelerated adoption. But then agility isn't just about speed. It's also about focus, right? And that brings us to one of the most persistent pain points in Agile, which is backlog management.
Correct.
Today, backlogs often become clustered or outdated, slowing teams down instead of enabling them. So AI promises a shift here too. Though automated prioritization, intelligent grooming, and even predicting uh, what should never make it to the backlog, AI is doing a great job. But the question here lies is how do you see AI transforming backlog management practices? Will it simply make prioritization faster or will it fundamentally change how we think about what belongs in a backlog?
Excellent point. Now, again, there are two aspects of it. One, there is a static requirement, which is not going to evolve over time. And there are dynamic requirement or disruptive requirement, which are changing, right, with the market, mostly every day. Now, when the requirements are static, right, we do not need any answer. We know that AI will be helping only in the prioritization part, much faster, right, using right different algorithm, etc., etc. But the real benefit is going to come because ultimately it is, if you consider agile, then it is product owner. And if you consider scaling model, then some, I mean, higher up role. It could be solution manager, product manager, they are into it. And they are always market, right? Market ready, market facing people. Though they are sometimes they are not doing it independently, but they may be taking the help of other people to get it done. But it will make the things more dynamic now because they also have some limitation. They cannot really look into what is changing every day, how the market is moving every day. It's like a share market. Today you may be seeing something, today may not be, that may not be required. So that volatility, how can you really infuse, even if we say that agile product backlogs are dynamic, agile product backlogs are refreshing every day before every iteration when the teams are pulling the work, all those things are fine. But if you really take a kind of or maybe wearing a devil's advocate, how dynamic is that? How can you change? How can you, right? I mean, think about, let's say, I can give a very interesting example. When there is an election coming up, like 6 months back, if you take a mood of the market or mood of the people, there may be an expectation, okay, these people will, or these parties can have this much of possibility. Is it going to be static throughout the thing till exit poll? Of course not. The great psephologist and or maybe the kind of statistical people will do these things depending on the different issue, the different promises, the different right agenda people are coming up with. Things will be continuously changing. So what was the prediction and election prediction 6 months back? Every month, maybe every 15 days, it is changing. Sometimes it may be changing, and we have seen that. I don't want to get into any political thing, but we have seen that happening at the last moment also. So basically, here AI is going to come and they can read the prediction so well and they can read the market so well, then they can suggest. But again, at the same time, ultimately the control will still rely on the product owner to the product manager. The whether, even if let's say I'm building a healthcare product, that there may be thousands of healthcare product, but whether my healthcare product is requiring to accept that market dynamism, I mean, my product, that I only can tell, or my business can only tell. So that is one thing. Second point is intelligent backlog curation. Now that is a simple one, which will be kind of prioritizing or maybe reducing our effort, manual effort for the, like we all know about Moscow, must have, should have, could have, won't have. Now, if you can infuse or if you can associate one AI agent, depending on your past data or your product, it can easily do that segregation and it can also tell you, and there are a lot of algorithms for that, right? K-means clustering and many other things which are there, which can already tell you that which one is important and which you can discard for now. They can come up with a groupism where there is more, right, predictability, probability of getting more revenue retention and NPS. Now, these days, another very important change which is coming to picture is that we are not anymore going to be output-driven backlog, but outcome-driven backlog, where the prioritization will depend, right, on the business outcome, but not on the output. Like AI will try to associate the backlog items with some measurable KPI. Okay, how is it going to help us in getting a revenue? If my transformation goal is this, whether it will help me to achieve that, prioritize it. Maybe how is it going to help me in the customer retention? How is it going to help me, right, to improve my net promoter score, etc., etc. So these are going to be, right, coming. Another thing is the predictive and the prescriptive backlog management. So AI will predict which items will deliver the highest value, even recommending some dropping low impact feature, like the way I said, like Moscow and other things. So these things can become automated. Now, moving forward, what last thing I want to cover here, that backlog will become, now traditionally we had a, right, negative connotation about the backlog, that okay, backlog is my negative thing, that okay, what all things I have in my backlog. But now moving forward, like after Agile, it has become a very positive thing, right, for us. Okay, these are my, whenever I have got a healthy backlog, that means we are there in the project. If my backlog is drying out, maybe the project will be kind of ending very soon. Now, backlog will also transform and it will become a strategic advisor. Now, it will become more strategic planning tool, integrating the market signals, competitor analysis, and the customer sentiment. Now, let's say you are going to launch a, right, smartphone. You may have some predefined feature coming up. Now, whenever you are integrating the market dynamics or the market analysis, right, fitting into your data or fitting into your prioritization tool, it will tell you, okay, what all important feature you are missing out, which your competitors are giving, and where you can really make an impact. Now, some of you might be knowing about a concept of whole product thinking, which talks about 4 very important things: core or generic product, the basic expectation, then core or generic product, that is the basic expectation, then the expected product, the kind of expected features which other competitors are giving, then where you are differentiator, augmented product functionality, and finally the potential, which can become eventually your trump card. So AI can suggest those things. So finally, to summarize, AI will automate the cleanup and keep the backlog really lean, continuous basis. Now, AI will make or transform the prioritization from intuition-based to the research-based, data-driven prediction. And finally, what it will result? PO will become more empowered. PO will become more strategic. So instead of we always say, what is the basic responsibility of the PO? To manage and prioritize so and so backlog. Now he will become more value strategist, because the prioritization will be taken care by the AI. That responsibility is going to go away. So they will eventually become the value strategist.
Awesome. PO as value strategist. But then I think maybe in a future session, we'd also like to cover this, that how this is going to change the skill of product thinking.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because with use of AI, there is also a chance of misusing it, overusing AI, right?
Correct.
And then as we normally say, we discuss this a lot of time, how efficiently we are using AI, whether we are only using it for the repetitive task, or we are also, putting the critical thinking responsibility to AI, and then we are just sitting idle. So how that is going to reshape the product thinking? Maybe, I mean, it is again a vast thing to discuss. Maybe sometimes in our next, because we are already running out of time.
I know. Maybe we can take one last, right, for you.
Yeah.
Like that's on the cultural shift. You talked about the human AI collaboration, Shubhra. But if I think about a little bit of cultural shift required for AI ready agility. So AI adoption is not just a process change. We also know that it's a cultural transformation, though people are not realizing that. Right? Every disruption comes up with some culture. When Agile came up, that time also it was coming up with a more culture change, more mindset change that we all know. So my question is, what cultural attributes must Agile teams now strengthen to stay relevant during the AI disruption?
Again, a great question. And first thing is, this whole culture stuff is actually a huge topic in itself, which I can talk about maybe 1 hour.
Correct.
But then to summarize to what you just asked, let me try to give a short answer of that. So agile teams must embrace adaptability.
Right.
Adaptability, then continuous learning, trust, and most importantly, empathy. So what is adaptability? It ensures the teams pivot quickly as AI, reshapes the workflows. Continuous learning is very, very important because you have to be always up to date with what is coming up, right? And even with AI, we are seeing AI also is evolving very fast. So continuous learning is very, very much required going forward. There has to be a culture of continuous learning. And as I say, that culture never grows bottom up, right? It has to be top down. So the leadership has to imbibe that culture, has to change their mindset, and then it will flow down. So continuous learning keeps skills relevant in a fast changing tech landscape. And then trust and transparency. Why that is required? Because there is a lot of fear right now, fear of the unknown, right? So if there is trust and transparency, then we can prevent that fear of AI replacing humans. That is a valid fear, because we as humans, we are tend to have that fear of unknown. When we don't know something, obviously we'll have a lot of concerns around that. But then if we are transparent, and if we have an environment that promotes trust, then I think it will help a lot to prevent that fear. So, and for all of this, I think it is very important that we have psychological safety in place. It is very, very, very important, because sometimes we don't realize, I mean, everybody, all the leadership team, they are sitting down right there, and they think that they are very open. But then that thinking is not propagated down to the team member level, right? Team members still have that innovation of, if I do something and if it fails, then what will happen? How am I going to be judged? How will it impact to my salary? I mean, I'm being very blunt and directly putting the word salary, because ultimately it all boils down to salary, right? Mm-hmm. So, and there's a very very old saying that once you have some rapport built, and then it goes off because of something or some misjudgment, then it always stays. The bad thing always stays. People tends to forget the good things, but then the bad thing will always stay.
Correct.
So because of all these things, people become very, very, what do I say that term? They try to play safe. So they don't want to try anything that has a chance of failure. But if that is the case, then we will never succeed.
Absolutely.
So psychological safety is something that has to be there. Your organization should be a safe space to fail. Then only you can do a lot of experiments, have the culture of continuous learning. And the last but not the least, which becomes very, very critical, is empathy.
Correct.
Because going forward, when AI will get embedded in all the workflows, things will, if we don't have empathy, things will slowly become mechanical, right? I mean, today also, if we use Amazon, if we try to go to customer service, I used it just before this session. If we try to go to customer service and talk to a customer representative, it takes a lot of time because first there are a lot of bots
Right.
trying to respond.
Right.
And then only if you persuade for so long, then it will allow you to talk to an actual human being.
Correct.
But then I spend so much of time talking to a bot without having any specific solution. So that irritated me, right? So there has to be a human touch. There has to be empathy in place.
Mm.
So empathy is very, very critical going forward. Because as automation grows, human connection and understanding will differentiate great teams from merely efficient ones.
Correct.
Because there can be efficient teams who use AI, but without empathy, then a team with empathy will be greater than that one. So empathy is again a very, very important part that needs to be practiced. And which again, for doing that, what we need to do is simple, basic communication.
Correct.
Communication, active listening, and being patient maybe to some extent. So curiosity, learning agility, experimentation comfort, and human-centered decision making, these are the key things. AI can't replace your passion or it can't replace the purpose, right? And purpose is also very, very important. If we don't have a purpose, then ultimately nothing happens.
Right.
Everybody will lose interest in that. And empathy, as I said, it ensures that AI augments, not alienates, right? It keeps agile human centered, focusing on collaboration, psychological safety, and customer delight rather than, pure efficiency that we are going to measure. So human aspect is never going to go off. Decision still needs to be human. As you said, even for backlog, there has to be a PO who decides what will actually work for my customer, right?
Right.
And even if we just try to deliver value using AI, we would really don't know that whether it works for my customer, right? Because customers are also different. Something that works for customer one may not work for customer two. And we also need to talk to our customers to get the stories, get the success stories. Because as I said, I being a customer to Amazon, I'm not happy with what they do. So these are the things that we need to ensure that, the culture is there. And this has to come from the leadership. So that is what, again, we are running out of time. I can talk about it all day because that is what I do.
That is our coaching.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I think we should go for the questionnaire.
Yeah. I think we can open up for questions maybe. And as I said, this whole topic is a very vast topic. So today we just maybe only scratch the surface. We were not able to even go deeper. So there are more areas we couldn't cover. Something like, say, for instance, evolution of agile metrics.
Correct.
Then avoiding
roles.
Roles. And then avoiding AI metrics inflation, AI-based metrics inflation that we might be seeing when overusing AI.
Right.
So yeah, I think we already have a question from Moinak. Yeah, Moinak, go ahead.
Moinak, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Moinak, we can't hear you.
You're still on mute.
Oh, he dropped off.
Yeah, am I audible now?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, Shubhra and Shubhra. In a shortage of time, I have actually two questions for both of you.
Go ahead.
And one already Shubhra touched upon the SMART goals, and the impact of AI in that. As an agile coach, I am expected to even facilitate the setting of the OKRs and the KPIs. But how AI is going to impact the KPI, not in terms of metrics, but in terms of setting the SMART goals as well. where originally, okay, from a business value perspective, it may not change, but how we deliver it, how do we quantify that one, or how do we make it that AI is, you know, upfront we can show to the leadership, okay, there is going to be an impact by using AI. That is one aspect, how we can explore that. Shurata has touched upon a few points regarding that smart goals. Another aspect, as a decision influencer in my organization, I am having to assess two vendors where they are offering their AI capability through a solutioning, uh, per se, like an end of life initiative. And as an evaluator, how do I evaluate the efficiency of their AI solution? What we should be able to, it's very abstract. They will say their POCs, they will define, which is trained in their data. And they will definitely, during the demos and all, they are showing very rosy pictures and all. But for them to bring it into our, infra, our things, and then apply those models, one is the time frame. It is unknown how long the maturity will take for those solutions to actually give real time, fruitful data, meaningful data. But how do I measure between two assessors? Like, are there any indicators which a assessor can use to judge, the efficiency of a offering? I mean, in terms of AI solutioning offering, everyone is using their LLM tools, everyone is using their one. But what are the basic things? Because in the demo, both are showing good things.
Correct.
Okay. But how do I apply that, and what is the time frame? I am finding myself, in a position, what meaningful questions I should ask them to be able to judge them. So,
Correct.
are there any pointers to that?
Right. So first of all, I would like to answer your second question first, because the first one I touched upon a little bit, and that will be discussed in detail in the next session. That is part of our agenda. But second point is a very interesting one, and you are spot on there, right? So in my organization, right, we had a entire group created for bid management, and as well as um, coming up with a lot of POCs. And trust me, Moina, I fully empathize, agree with you that we have come up with, uncountable number of kind of use cases, right? But whenever question is how many of these use cases are actually converted into the real time, right, revenue generating module, right? Simple thing like how can we get our customer engagement by selling that thing? And the answer is unfortunately less than 5%. Correct? So whenever the customer visit happens, right, we show these data, and then we say, if they ask this question always, have you applied that in your organization? I have seen that. I was in one of the couple of customer visits, and they said, this is a use case. I understand this is a POC, great, test data, fantastic. Do you really believe that your organization get benefited by using this POC if you're implementing it fully? We did not have any clue. So how can I propose the same solution? I know that we are in a sales mode, but how can I propose the same solution to my customer? So the couple of points they said that first you apply that and you show us the real-time data, don't show us the POC. Show us the real-time data that how your organization is getting benefited out of implementing this, right, POC converted, right, application, LLM or whatever you say, right? You show us the real data. That's point number one. Point number two, they talk about security. That I understand that you are claiming this, but how can I ensure? Because my data is my data ultimately at the end of the day. Now, there may be multiple healthcare product, multiple fintech product, everything is fine. But who gives us a guarantee that my data is going to, right, will not go away beyond your firewall? Who can give you the guarantee, and what will be the penalty clause? So they are going to pose a huge threat or a huge penalty clause, right? If that is going beyond our firewall, even if we are committing, that will not go. Correct? And the third part is, of course, on the improvement part. Okay, today the contract is like that. Now, if you are coming up with AI solution, how much will be the reduction of my cost? Or how much value you are going to give me extra? Let's talk about that number. Then we are saying, no, we'll show you this improvement. We'll give you, no, talk in terms of number. Let's say today I'm signing with you a $5 million contract. Now, if you are giving me an NI-enabled solution, I know that you can take up, right, more stories. You are saying this, all this stuff. Fine, good. But how much cost reduction will happen from my aspect? And we don't have any answers. Because it is still evolving, Moinak, that we do not have any real-time case study to do that. So these are the three questions which I have seen, right, people asking, the customers are asking, and really we did not have any answer, right? So I would like to request Shubhra, if you have any other extra point to share with Moinak, feel free to do so.
I think you have covered most, and with the interest of time, let's give the other people also chance. I think Rajiv is also telling how can he get a chance. So yes, Rajiv, you can go ahead. Maybe with the
But
next
Moinak,
question.
don't worry, right? We will explore this question in the next session.
No,
also.
brilliant point. That accountability part is what I need to stress. Brilliant points, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. Rajiv, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So my question is again, I also have two questions, Shubhra. One is, with all the statements that you were talking about, all the meetings happening through AI, have you seen or is there any tool that is prevalently available nowadays? Number one. Number two, see, when AI came, backlog got converted with the help of AI. DevOps and implementation also, you mentioned GitHub Copilot is already there. Why is it taking so much time for the middle part, the planning and execution, to adopt Agile? AI.
A very good point, Rajiv. I would like to start first, and then maybe Shubho, you can join in. But coming to your first question on tools, yes, there are tools available right now. So I mostly see these days two tools that are being used widely in organizations. Like in my organization, we use Microsoft 365 package. So with that, we get this ADO, the Azure dashboard, right? So that is one thing that we are using, and that has a lot of stuffs to integrate that can actually help you to create good user stories. And then for the meetings, there is in the Teams package, you will get facilitator these days embedded in the Teams, right? So which can actually jot down your meeting note, take your meeting summary, and then you can use tools to analyze that and then come out of action items out of that. And with Jira, there are a lot of AI integrated tools that comes in. So Shubho, would you like to go ahead with that? The planning part.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah.
So not only planning part, but also, like as you already said, the retro, right?
Yes.
Or
yes.
maybe sometimes the estimation also, whenever the teams are putting, right, this number of hours, etc., it will start analyzing your historical data. And sometimes it can suggest you're overestimating, right? Because we have seen that it takes not the estimated data, but the actual taken time. Again, it's not going to override, but it may give us a suggestion. Are you thinking about some specific dependency in mind for which you are estimating it as, let's say, 5 story point? Because we have seen historically the ideal estimated hour or estimated story point could be a 3 story point, right? So, but it may so happen that you have a real time environmental challenges or integration challenge. So they are not overriding it, but they are coming up with some suggestion. Now, coming up with the retrospective also. Retrospective, right? In Azure dashboard, I have seen that. In Jira also, I have seen that. Now, the action item that I are creating, those can be also created automatically, right? Out of those pointers, those can be created coming up with an automatically. And not only that, if you remember earlier, what we used to do, we used to vote those action items to see which is the most important one. Now that selection also AI can suggest. AI can always suggest, right? It cannot, right, forcefully tell that, okay, you have to take this one as the first one. It can come up with its own prioritization, whether you take it, you don't take it, your choice, or you can reorder that as well. So to give a short answer to your question, yes, the tools are there, and those are also evolving, right? Not all the cases I would say that they have come up with, like meeting minutes, as he said, like it has also some flaw, right? If you try to fully blindly rely on that transcript, you may fall flat, right?
Exactly.
So you need to really ask, like that is where the prompt engineering question comes in. Sometimes, like after this session, I try to post an article. And many times I see that I use Zoom's transcript, right? Because I cannot recollect really that all the things that is happening. So, but I know that what all things happened, right? In summary. So maybe sometime I'm asking the question, okay, can you please tell me the question which Rajiv asked, right? Maybe it initially missed out. Then it says, oh, okay, thank you so much. So that is where the prompt engineering is coming into picture. Now that's, I'm not talking about the technical prompt, I'm talking about the basic prompt, right? The way you can refine your query and can get the result.
And to add, one more thing is on the adoption part, wherein we adopt it for the planning. So I think it is happening. It is happening slowly. And the thing is, more we try to adapt it, we will see more usage, right? Because as I said, I mean, the day one we start doing it, we might not get the right result. Even it is the same for our writing user stories or features, right?
Correct.
If we put in the day one, it might give us some text which is absolutely irrelevant to what we are trying to make. But
Right.
then, as and when we start using it, give our feedback, and then try to do better prompt engineering, and then get a output which is really what we are looking for, and give a like to that, then it will also learn that okay, this is the way the user wants.
Correct.
So maybe next time I will keep in mind this, and then accordingly prepare a text for them. So the thing is, we need to start adopting it at regular levels, and then again, as I talked about the culture has to be there from top down, right? So we have to ask our users, please go ahead. We have given you all the equipments, try and use it.
Right.
Because if everybody doesn't try and use it, the organization as a whole will never succeed.
True.
So the key is we have to start using it. There has to be a mindset shift from the leadership wherein they allocate budget, because all these tools are costly. And if you if you have a basic plan, it's different. But then if you include all the AI tools integrated in those tools, that will might incur some cost. So we have to have that budget in place. We have, from the leadership, we have to have that mindset that no, we want to use this. The pitfall is that, say for instance, I allot a budget for 5 months and then don't see output and then stop doing it, might not work. I mean, because it
That
will
will
take
become
time.
words.
Maybe,
That will become
yes,
words.
it will take 1 year minimum to see some benefit coming out of it.
Correct.
So we have to be patient. So I don't know whether that answer your question or not. But then again, Rajiv, you are open to jot down your question, and maybe we can give it a try in our next session if it doesn't answer.
Sure, definitely. Thank you,
Yep.
Subra. Thank you, Subra. Thank you.
Paromita, you have a question. Go ahead. Probably the last question for today. Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I've got some throat issue. I'm sorry whether I'll be able to explain it. Question. It's not exactly a question. You're talking about human touch for AI. But my observation, and also you can see it's a question, that can really AI help us in conflict resolution and team motivation? In an agile, I feel there is a big gap there, because for conflict resolution, every team member is unique, different, and for motivating team members also, AI probably may not be able to help there based on the nature of different human nature. What do you think?
Exactly, a wonderful question. So maybe we are going to cover in our next session
That is our
one
first
topic.
topic
Yeah,
for
so
next.
how the Scrum Master role is going to evolve. But then, to give you a short answer, Paramita, you are absolutely on the point. AI can actually not resolve all those stuffs and handle all those stuffs very nice, because it needs a human connection for all those stuffs. But then, having said that, what AI can do is it can give us some insights, maybe from the NLPs, from processing the meeting notes or the discussions going on in a meeting. It can give us some hints that this is something where you might need to work on, and that can be some hints for the Scrum Masters to actually go, and because that part is the conflict resolution and team's morale and team productivity, talking to the team members. It is absolutely human part, and that AI can never replace, because humans are every human is a different from by nature. So if you talk one way to one person, the same way you cannot talk to the second person. So it needs a human judgment to even talk to people, right? So conflict resolution is solely human, but then what AI can do is it can give us some hints, some notes to help us in doing our job better.
Right.
Maybe Shubho, if you want to add something.
Right. So parting note. First of all, like there had been a lot of debate whether the agile coaching role is going to go away. I can assure you, it is not going to go away. Rather, it is going to stay with more relevance, right? Because Shubhra already answered why it is, and we are going to discuss that in the next session. Another thing, like those who have been practicing agile or agile coaching role for quite some time, you might have known about mood marble. Earlier, we used to do a kind of mood marble kind of analysis. That how is team's mood now? Kind of how's the Josh, right? And then you can decide that depending on the different color of the marbles, right? You can decide that okay, whether the team is doing good or whatever, team is stressed upon, right, etc., etc. Now, she pointed a very good thing called NLP. So typically, AI can help us with some sentiment analysis. Now, we talk about the team assessment, we talk about maturity assessment, all those things are fine. But what is the sentiment analysis for the team, right? So depending on the way people are speaking in the different meetings and those AI components, some of the tools are also generating a sentiment analysis report apart from the transcript, right? Or if you ask maybe chat gpt or a Gemini's better version, right, it will learn it from there and it will have the sentiment analysis ready and it will give you that. So like the way she was telling, considering the way team members are responding, you can understand the frustration or the joy from there, or the whether they're angry, you can understand that, or their frustration, this will also come into picture, right? But still it is, I would say still it is superficial. As she said, every human being is unique, their understanding is unique, and the way you need to handle them, that has to be unique as well. So we are there still, we are not going to go away.
Right. The sentiment analysis is there, will help you out, but then it is us who need to apply our judgment whether that sentiment analysis also is right or not. And again, the more we do it, the more it will become better. So yeah, it is again a huge thing to discuss, and maybe our next we'll try to do a deeper dive in our next session. So I think with that, let's try to wrap it up. So what we discussed today is AI will not replace Agile. The key thing is AI is not going to replace Agile, but then it will just amplify it. But the winners will be those who evolve Agile from a process framework into a learning, adaptive, intelligence-driven mindset. The intersection of Agile and AI is not a threat. It is the next frontier of competitive advantage that we are going to get. So now let's embrace it with curiosity. Obviously, curiosity is the key thing that everybody is having now. And then the most important thing is responsibility. And last but not the least, courage. So with that note, we'd like to thank everybody who joined and had the engaging discussion today. And hopefully we'll have a similar engaging discussion in our next session as well. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Dola, for being an excellent host. And thank you, Shubhu, for all your insights.
Thanks, Shubhra.
Thank you so
Wonderful
much.
session. And I believe there are so
Thank
many
you.
follow-on questions
Thank you,
to come
everyone.
up over LinkedIn as well. Yeah.